Oh, hello, and welcome to today's Decay, where we celebrate births and beginnings of everything important since the dawn of time. February 8th edition, all day. And what happened? Um, 1828, Jules Verne was born. I'm a big Jules Verne fan. Um, my favorite is something that people have only relatively recently discovered, which is his novel Paris in the 20th Century. It was considered by his publisher at the time too depressing. Nobody was going to want to read such dystopian sadness. Written in the 1860s, takes place, as the title suggests, in Paris in the 1960s. And it is so accurate in so many various ways about how devalued the arts would become, and plenty of other, not just the arts, but like creativity in general. Interesting, more so in the most modern era, but this really hit home. He was able to properly describe a good deal of what the 1960s looked like and what culture evolved like over that 100-year span. It was found in like a vault by one of his relatives and published in, I think, the 1980s or so. But most people aren't familiar with it. So I'm going to suggest on his birthday, go find a copy and get lost in it because it's really good. Yeah. The Devil's Footprints phenomena occurred today in 1855, if you're to believe such things. What was it? Who knows? Dr. Karl von Kozel, born today, 1877. What a crazy story, Dr. Karl von Kozel. I think he's Key West, Florida, if I remember correctly. And he's a mad doctor who fell in love with one of his patients who died, and he was still in love with her and did all sorts of questionable things to her. That it's a wild story. Roddy Thomas is making a movie about it, and he's been working on it for many years. And I can't wait to see the final product. But the segments I've seen so far are looking really good. Yeah. King Vidor, born today, 1894. That's why I've got out here my copy of The Crowd. This is a photo play novelized by Ali L. Miles. This photo play, not this exact copy, but another copy, has been at the Museum Moving Image in Long Island City or Astoria, Queens for decades. And I've always kind of peered through the glass, just like breathed on it, and like, one day this will be mine. And it took me so many years to find a copy. This is my favorite King Vidor movie. It might be my favorite movie ever. It's never been released on like DVD. I think I know there was a VHS of it in probably the 90s, perhaps even a Laserdisc in the 90s. And why the powers that be have not released this movie since, it's a mystery, definitely a mystery. But that's not all. King Vidor did a whole bunch of great stuff. The Champ, The Big Parade, Hallelujah. I'm a huge King Vidor fanatic, so that's great stuff, all of it. Bill Finger, born today, 1914, truly the creator. One could argue the co-creator, but I would say the driving force of what became Batman is Bill Finger. And growing up, I remember reading maybe like an elementary school, reading like a Bob Kane, probably autobiography, where he really takes all the credit, and thankfully in the modern age that's been corrected. The both of them, apparently the story goes, would sit right outside of the Edgar Allan Poe cottage in the Bronx near Fordham, and like just sit in that park, and like that's where like the beginnings of Batman came out of, was like just sitting there and reflecting on the legacy and work of Edgar Allan Poe. true or not. I love the story. And in the meantime, the borough of the Bronx named the street just south of the park Bill Finger Way. So I think Bill is definitely given the finger to history for almost forgetting him. Thumbs up to Bill Finger. Dan Curtis's film Dracula premiered today, 1974. That's the one with Jack Palance. Jack Palance and Dan Curtis also worked together on Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Dan Curtis, of course, is the filmmaker behind all the Dark Shadows content. So this is like him adding his signature atmosphere to both of these stories. What else? The Fog premiered today, 1980. I love The Fog. I think John Carpenter, there was a point where he was just absolutely untouchable. And it hits right here with The Fog for me. And what else is untouchable? Why, Blitz released Never Surrender, that 45 today in 1982. Untouchable. So today's Decay. We're going to remind you, never surrender on February 8th or any day of the year. Till tomorrow. Goodbye. Delicious.